Welcome to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. I'm Allie Rose, certified clinical hypnotherapist and subconscious success coach. I help my clients stop self-sabotage and feel safe to create more wealth, worth, and wellness from within. If you find yourself stuck repeating the same unhelpful patterns in your life, health, business, or relationships, even after all the mindset work, this podcast is for you. Each week, you'll hear deep dives into the hidden beliefs shaping your life and live hypnocoaching sessions where someone shifts a block in real time. Because willpower isn't the problem, your subconscious story is. And when you shift it at the root, everything else begins to change. So let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. In today's episode, you're going to hear a live hypnocoaching session with Carrie, a woman who knows exactly what she wants to build, who has already done so much mindset and personal growth work, and who deeply wants to support other women through major life transitions. And yet, when it comes to showing up for her own business, putting herself out there, sharing her voice, and allowing her work to be seen, something inside her pulls back. She describes it as not being able to get out of her own way. In this conversation, we get curious about what's really underneath that self-sabotage, because so often, what looks like procrastination, overthinking, or lack of confidence is actually a younger part of you trying to protect you. As always, we start out with conscious conversation and then move into the subconscious work. Parts of the episode are edited out for safety, but you still get the full heart of the episode. As you listen, I want you to reflect on these questions. Where in your life do you know what to do, but still find yourself holding back? What did you learn early on about being seen, taking up space, or causing trouble? What might become possible if your body finally felt safe with visibility, growth, and success? All right, let's dive in. All right, Carrie, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about the self-sabotage that you're experiencing as you're trying to build your business.
So, my biggest thing is I just can't seem to get out of my way, if that makes sense. I know the things that I need to do, but putting myself out there just seems really intimidating. And I really struggle with that. I'm not sure where that comes from. You know, just trying to like figure out what it is that I'm trying to break through. I've done a lot of mind shift work, in self-development and things like that. And it just feels like I should have it together by now.
Right.
And I don't know what it is to get me over that last hurdle.
Yeah. Well, I want to share with you. That's what most of my clients say whenever they come to me, because the reality is I can guess that you're probably like a go-getter. You probably have tried lots of things, and so it's not for lack of trying or knowing what to do. It's just maybe there's a block, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your business. What kind of business are you trying to build?
So the business that I'm trying to build is it's primarily focused for women, 35 to 45-ish. I kind of going through maybe some life changes. So for me, what kicked it off and what kind of gave me the idea is what I was really shifting in a point in my life from, being in a toxic relationship to being a single mother and all the challenges that kind of came along with that, the mindset, the personal growth, the motivation that you struggle with day in and day out when you've got so much on your plate with the overwhelm and everything. So my business will be built around, helping women kind of through those types of transitions. And even now, like I'm going through another transition with my children, they're growing up and going into high school. I've got one that'll be finishing. So, just how we grow and shift through those changes,
Mhm.
which, is why it's so frustrating to me of why I can't show up for my business because this is what I've done. And so that's kind of the goal, is to build a brand around that and create tools for women that will help them overcome that and really give the voice to it, because I don't think that women like that's talked about enough, the challenges of it and things like that. And so it feels very isolating when you get out there and you're kind of in that. So just trying to create more transparency around that.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, we all need the support during the transition. That's such a huge identity shift when you're going through those transitions. And so to have
Mhm.
support around that is really huge.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your childhood, a little bit about your relationship with your parents.
So my relationship with my parents, I mean, my upbringing, I lived in a very small town, and my parents had a very uh, back and forth marriage. You know, most of my childhood, I remember them kind of being at odds, and a little bit of power struggle there of well, we should do it my way versus your way, that kind of thing. They did eventually get divorced when I was 18, but at that point, that was kind of my point of reference for marriage was that it was just going to be difficult. One of the key factors of their marriage was always finances. It's always, how we were going to spend what money we did have and things like that. And so that was always like a point of tension in the house, and my parents were young when they got married. So, they I think they were like just out of high school, honestly. And so, they had my older brother not long after that, and then me not long after that.
Right.
So, the 3 kids total. So they're trying to make ends meet,
Right.
with high school education, and they tried to go to school in the beginning, go to college, but couldn't make it work, and things like that. So it was just always very, um, there was a lot of conflict. So, and like I said, a lot of what I heard was, just that money was a big part of it. That was always a big contention in the family, but, also that power struggle. So,
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. And what was your role within the family? Often we play roles within the family like peacekeeper or the rebel.
yeah, yeah. So I was the middle child, and to some degree, I feel like I fell very much into the middle child role of the peacekeeper.
Right.
My older brother, it seemed like he was always kind of the point of, a lot of these arguments and things like that because he would go out and get in trouble or he was very hyper, and things like that. And then my younger sister, I mean, she's the baby of the family. So, everybody was like, "Oh, the little one," including myself. But I was always the one that I was like, "Okay." My mindset, I think, growing up was if I just follow the rules, do what is expected of me, if I stay out of trouble, if I make good grades, for a huge part of my life, I remember thinking if I make good grades, I can get into college and then I can get out of here,
Right.
you know? And not necessarily my home, but even my hometown, like that small town kind of mentality. So, I would say I fell into more of the peacekeeper. A lot of times I was a sounding board for my mom because I don't think she had a lot of support outside of, that. And then, I was always very intimidated with my dad growing up. Um, Not so much now. I've grown a lot closer with him, but I just remember, I was daddy's little girl, but I also, at times it was like at a distance.
Right.
So,
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. Do you have anything else that would be important for me to know before we go into the session?
I don't think so.
All right. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. I
Right.
want you to go ahead and I want you to just take a deep breath in. And now I want you to go ahead and I want you to look up as high as you possibly can. That's perfect. As if you're trying to look into your own eyebrows, keeping your eyes glued to a real or imagined spot overhead. Just breathe in and out. Take another deep breath. Breathe in and out. And each time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. And just one final time, take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. So every time I say the words, go deeper, you're just becoming more and more relaxed. So just one more time, go deeper Drift deeper, sink deeper, at least 100 times deeper. That's perfect, Carrie. You are responding perfectly, exactly as I knew you would, because I already know that you are incredibly open, receptive, and suggestible, and your mind is incredibly powerful. So now we're going to explore this part of you that is sabotaging your business and career goals. So I want you to just imagine that you've gone inside yourself. You've turned your eyes inward. You're still Carrie, but you're able to find this part of you that's holding you back from building an online business. And it's holding you back because it thinks that holding you back might have some useful role, function, purpose, and or intention. So I want you to go ahead and take a moment and scan your body until you find this part of you that's holding you back from building your business. And when you locate it, I want you to tell me, where do you carry this part of you in your body?
I think it's my stomach.
Okay. I want you to just imagine for a moment that you can reach into your stomach and you can pull this part of you that's holding you back from building your business out of you. And you're not looking at this part of you, it's in front of you. And I want you to tell me, what does it look like? Can you give it a color, texture, shape, or size?
It's a little shame. It's more a little grayish color.
Okay. It's like a grayish color. Does it have any texture or
And it's almost like a cloud.
okay? All right, you're doing great. And as you look at this part of you that's holding you back from building your business, I want you to notice, how do you feel about this part of you? What emotions come up for you?
I feel anxious.
Hmm.
Like I'm maybe afraid a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Feels like it just feels kind of small, like it's just, like it's kind of a grip, you know?
Hmm. Okay. I want you to continue looking at that part of you that's holding you back from building your business. And I want you to ask that part of you, what is your role in my life? Why are you here?
Keep thinking it's saying safe.
Okay. To keep you safe?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to ask it, what are you keeping me safe from?
Feels like it's saying a couple of different things, like the world, and can't make out what the other means, but it feels like there's something else.
Okay. And I want you to ask it, why do you need to do this?
I don't want you to be hurt.
Mhm. All right. You're doing great. That part of you is doing great. I want you to go ahead and we're going to ask that part of you, what is your function in my life? How are you helping me?
It's like it's saying to keep you safe, to keep you from being seen.
Okay. And I want you to ask it, why do you need to keep me from being seen?
It's afraid,
It's afraid of what?
being hurt,
By who?
people,
There wasn't like a specific name or face that came up. It was just people in general.
families, kind of.
Okay. All right. You're doing great. I want you to go ahead and we're going to ask that part of you, what is your purpose in my life?
Wants to protect me,
From?
wants to protect me from those suicidal.
Hmm.
It feels like it wants to protect me from those around me that don't see me. That in the past when I've been seeing that's been very painful. So I'm not seeing then, it protects me from you.
Okay. All right. You're doing great. That part of you is doing great. We're so grateful that it's come up to share this information with us. Way to ask it. What is your only intention in my life?
And I don't want you to get hurt.
I want you to ask it directly. How would building my business hurt me?
Feels like it would like that there would be people out there that would judge me
Mhm.
or disagree with me, and that feels scary. There's a part of me that thinks I can't handle that, maybe.
Probably this part.
Mhm.
Okay. You're doing great. I want you to ask that part. When did you first come into my life? How old was I? And what was going on?
Kind of like when I was little, like really young, we're looking about certain age or anything. It's just really young. It's almost like it looks like a just a young girl. Like I keep getting this image of like this young girl in a corner, like
Mm.
hiding almost, is what it kind of feels like now.
Okay. What was
Just maybe 5-ish.
okay? What was going on in your life around that time?
Felt like there was a lot of waiting, a lot of things that were felt unstable,
Mhm.
I wasn't sure of things.
Mhm. Sure.
Mm.
What just came up?
It's just I keep seeing little girl like in a corner, like just afraid, like with her knees pulled up to her chest and just afraid.
Yeah.
But I can't tell if there's anything like happening around her.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So, Carrie, do you see and understand why this part of you is holding you back from building your business?
Yeah, with the get hurt or whatever this that I need protected from that from other people.
Mhm. So I want to ask you, is this working for you?
No,
Why is it not working for you?
it's a cult me back. It keeps me from going for things that I really want. It keeps me overthinking, overwhelmed with things. It feels like trying to move forward. There's always just something that happens keeps me from going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can see and we can understand that this part of you is trying to do something good for you because every single part of us believes that it's doing something good for us. However,
Mhm.
this part of you was created when you were young, when you were 5 years old, and you're no longer 5 years old. So I want you to tell me and tell this part of you, how are you different now than when you were 5 years old?
I'm stronger now. You know, I know more about who I am as a person. And know that other people's opinions are just more of a reflection of them than me. Just feels so sad.
You feel sad?
Yeah.
Mm. What do you feel sad about?
I don't I don't really know. It's like sad for things I've missed out on, things that maybe I should have done better with.
Hmm. And you missed out on these things because
And I need to leave.
right, right. Well, from what you shared with me, you were saying that your parents fought constantly, right?
And,
And that's pretty unstable and unsettling for a little girl, right?
and
You'd shared with me that you always felt like you had to be the good child, that you didn't want to make any trouble, that you didn't want to be a burden in any way, right? So it's almost like you were hiding in that if you were hidden, then you didn't cause any trouble. You weren't a burden in any way.
and,
So you learned at a very young age that that's how you stay safe, right?
and
So I want you to go ahead and continue tuning into that part of you, that grayish cloud part in your stomach. And I want you to ask that part of you if it's ready to leave.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that that part of you needs in order to feel safe enough to leave? Does it need you to do anything, say anything?
The word love comes out.
Okay. What does that mean?
And she's, yeah, she's love.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to go back to this part of you again. And I want you to go ahead and repeat after me. Thank you for helping me the way you did.
Thank you for helping me all you do.
It's had a very powerful impact on my life.
And
You've been keeping me safe for so many years,
you've been keeping me safe for so many years,
but I'm an adult now.
but I'm an adult now.
I'm safe now.
I'm so
I'm stronger.
stronger.
I know who I am as a person.
As a person.
So now you're free to go.
No,
I want to give you a minute, Carrie, to see what you need to see, feel what you need to feel, say what you need to say to the part in order to let it go. You can say it out loud or you can say it quietly. And if you say it quietly, just let me know when you're done. Okay. Has it gone?
and
How do you know? What's different?
I don't feel sad.
Mm,
Feels bright.
okay. Okay. I want to ask you, would it be helpful to bring in a different, more supportive part in place of that part? Or do you feel complete with letting that part go?
I think I feel complete without it.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. So I want you to call to mind, if you can, that little girl again. Is this little girl you?
Yeah,
Okay. I want you to step into that scene where that little girl is now. And I want you to go over to her and I want you to tell her anything and everything that she needs to know. What does she need to hear from wiser, older you? You can say it out loud or you can say it quietly. If you say it quietly, just let me know when you're done.
okay.
Okay. And now I want you to picture that small child, the younger you, hovering just above your head. See them now slowly descending down, dropping down, merging into your body, merging into your heart, merging into your life now. You feel that child fully merged within you now. They are never ever going back because the child, the little you, is now taking up residence in you as an adult. They are free now. They've had a massive upgrade into your life. The past is behind them and behind you. And you, Carrie, you are free now to be the person, the adult that you choose to be. Take a deep breath in and just allow that child to fully merge within you now. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're releasing those old beliefs that it's not safe to be seen, it's not safe to take up space. And now, as you are seeing this, feeling this, believing this, feeling wonderful, amazing, and free, I'm going to count you back to full awareness. With each number, you will become more aware of your surroundings, bringing this feeling back to the room. So, on the count of one, you're becoming more aware. On the count of two, you're aware of the room and the sounds around you. On the count of 3 and 4, you're taking in a deep breath. And on the count of 5, whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. How was that for you?
It was good. It was good. It was, just feel lighter.
Good, good. Was
So,
there anything surprising to you or that stood out to you?
I think it was surprising. I think I maybe had expectations that it would be something different that came up, but, you know, I mean, it makes sense of, what I've been struggling with and everything, but yeah, it was interesting that it was a little version of me, trying to protect me. Um, I don't think maybe I realized it was such a big part, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Maybe part of what you expected is actually part of that story, but the mind will take us to a space. And it's so interesting how it can start much younger than we expect, right? Um,
Mhm.
so, yeah, well, hopefully you were able to connect in with little you and do some healing there. So,
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was
absolutely. Thank
was
you
great.
for
It was a good experience.
thank you so much for trusting me to guide you through this process.
Uh,
And I will check in with you in a couple days to see how you're doing. Okay.
all right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good. Take care. Bye. I want to take a moment to thank Carrie for her openness, vulnerability, and her willingness to share pieces of her story with us. What stands out most to me from this session is that self sabotage is so rarely about laziness, discipline, or not wanting it badly enough. Carrie wanted this. She knew what she wanted to create. She knew the woman she wanted to serve. She knew that her message mattered. But there was a younger part of her that had learned a very different role. Being seen is not safe. Taking up space is not safe. Being visible means you might be judged or hurt, misunderstood, or rejected. And when a belief like that gets created early in life, it doesn't just disappear because you've read the books, done the mindset work, or created the plan. The body has to feel safe enough to move differently. That is the heart of this work, not forcing yourself to push harder, not shaming yourself for not being further along, but understanding the part of you that is trying to protect you, thanking it for how it helped you survive, and then letting your adult self lead now. If this episode resonated with you, I want you to take that in as a signal, as information. Maybe the part of you that keeps delaying, overthinking, avoiding, or hiding is not actually trying to sabotage you. Maybe it's protective. Maybe it's young. Maybe it just hasn't realized that you're no longer in the same place you were when that pattern began. And maybe now it's safe to be seen, to share your voice, to build the business, the life, the freedom, and the impact that are all calling you forward. If you want to explore what your own self sabotage is really protecting you from, this is exactly the kind of work that we do in Mind Shifts and Momentum. Each month, there are 2 live group hypnocoaching calls where you can get to the root of your own subconscious block. You can learn more and join us at mindshiftsandmomentum.com or check the link in the show notes. I hope that this was helpful, and I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Until next time, bye. Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. If today's conversation sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to send me a message on social media. I'm at the Allie Rose on both Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to be coached on a future episode or explore what it would look like to work with me one-on-one, head over to shiftyourstorypodcast.com. And if you never want to miss an episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a rating and review. It helps more people find this work. Until next time, keep shifting, keep growing, and most importantly, I want you to remember that your story isn't set in stone. You always have the power to shift it.